Welcome to the opening round of the Rotax Max South African Championship karting here in Killarney in Cape Town, the mother city. And we're heading into Senior Max now with a big field coming out to do battle for 2019's championship.
Senior Max has really blossomed. It's nice because a lot of the youngsters from Junior Max have moved up, so Senior Max has got a decent field this year. I think there's 16 of them on the grid. And yeah, I think expect big fights over there. Young Charles Visser is very quick, but Andrew Rackstraw's quick. Kai van Zyl quick. There's a number of kids that'll fight over that one.
Qualifying was all about Charles Visser setting an incredible 41.199 lap time ahead of Luca Candeli. Andrew Rackstraw looking to come through there and take on Kai van Zyl, Simon Simpson-Heath, and Rhys Ullman in the top 6.
Well, we have to give credit. So, like Senior Max, one of the most best fortunate classes to race with all the experienced drivers like Luca and all of them. But we can see, we will see what he can do this year. And obviously, the junior experience gave me a kickstart for Senior Max.
Home circuit, always a good way to start your season.
Yeah, sure, we have our ups and downs, but qualified pole can't be a better way to start the race off.
Who are the guys to watch out in the class? Because there's a lot of strong guys there.
I think Kai van Zyl, Andrew Rackstraw, they both. This is their own track, and they're very good drivers. And I think like Luca with all the experience, and yeah, I think those are the guys to watch out for.
Welcome back to national karting. Talk to me about the comeback and how things are with you this weekend.
I'm obviously quite tired already. It's only day 2, so tomorrow's going to be very interesting. Just race fitness is something else. There's nothing you can train for it, but it's going well. I think I got a second in qualifying now, but the races are what counts, so looking forward to tomorrow.
You're having a mix here of experienced guys who've been there, but then there's this bunch of very young teenagers and Carl Visser on his home circuit.
Yes, obviously he's got the home ground advantage. I did spend a year at this track, so I do know it quite well. Hopefully my experience can show its class tomorrow during the racing, and I can get the win.
It's a bit of a step down because you were previously in DD2. And the new surface here, how's that working out?
The DD2, I do miss it a lot, but for Ralph Ordendale and Punjabi Racing, they asked me to do their Senior Max driver, so I obliged. And then the surface is amazing, it's nice and smooth, so the ribs at least aren't taking a beating like they used to. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Strategy, keep his youngsters hiding.
Yeah, I don't want to show my cards too soon, but as I say, hopefully my experience comes out and I can show them how it's done.
It's awesome to be back in Cape Town for the first round of the National, awesome for home track, as you said. You can't count the Durban and Joburg guys down because they're seriously quick, they've got on the pace drastically. The resurfaced track, it feels awesome. They did an awesome job. Obviously, it has changed the handling, so it's just who gets the setup best first. So I'm looking forward to the weekend, and well done to Charles on his pole position.
Who are the guys, now you mentioned Charles, who are the guys that are potentially going to be fighting for the front?
So just in qualifying, definitely the home boys, me, Charles, Simon, Kai, they're all very quick. But Luca's extremely quick as well, and Wyman, you can't count him out either. So I think it's going to be tight, and Naidu is getting quicker every session. So I think it's going to be an epic race, and yeah, hope for the best.
You last year pulled off a win here.
Yeah.
You were looking at repeating that?
Hopefully, if all goes well, I'm just going to stay calm, and yeah, I'm just going to try repeat what happened last year.
Talk to me about coming back this season and Senior Max.
The competitiveness has got much bigger, time-wise faster, and really I'm enjoying this class with the help of my trainer Uncle Yu and the guy who I look up to, Wesley Orr. But really this class is a great class to ride in.
Of course, having been off for a year, but you know, you're on your home circuit. Unfortunately for you, you've got Charles Visser who's on top of the game at the moment. But hey, this is racing, anything can happen.
Yeah, really, Charles got a really good lap in. I don't know where he got that out, but he got a really good lap in. With our qualifying, I'm happy with 4th. I mean, from 2nd to 4th is within less than a 10th. So if I had to go a little bit faster, I would have got 2nd.
Well, this is our home circuit actually. We're from Cape Town, so it's nice to get in amongst the mix of not only locals, but all the guys from Joburg and Durban and stuff. It's an absolutely awesome atmosphere here. Great to have lots of people driving, and it's very close racing, so it's awesome.
The track, after the resurface, how are you finding it? Because it used to, I mean, last season it was bumpy beyond.
Yeah, Cape Town, it's always been a bumpy track, and there were some issues with resurfacing, but it's really awesome now. It's nice and flowing, and you can really catch a rhythm and get a lap together. It makes the kart feel more settled, and it's really awesome.
Competition, where's that going to come from?
Competitions come from, there's some of the top local guys, so we've got Charles Visser and Kai van Zyl and Andrew Rackstraw and myself from the locals, and then some of the Burl kart guys also very quick, but it's awesome, it's very close.
Andrew Rackstraw's had a couple of really interesting starts to the season, not only in the karting but also in Formula 1600, so hopefully he can use that experience to his advantage. But he's got to take on the top two there, and Candley making a welcome return now as he goes side by side with Charles Visser heading down into turn 1. Visser's got the drop, and as they peel in there, does everybody stay on the circuit? Yes, they do. Only just a couple of wheels on the dirt, but no major incidents down into turn 1. And already a chop and change as Visser is losing ground rapidly. He's dropped down about 5th place by the looks of things, and that's not the start he wanted. As you can see, looking back saying, come and work with me. No one wants to work with you when you're going backwards, Charles. You're going to have to up the pace there, buddy. You've lost out too much ground coming through that first couple of sectors as they go down the back straight now for the first time.
Big winner in that start was Simon Simpson-Heath up in a second. Oh, someone losing a chain. That is
Shireen
Naidu losing his chain there, unfortunately, in turn 1. That incident where he clipped the wheel with Waylon Wyman, unfortunately knocking the chain off the sprocket. But the two there, Kai van Zyl and Charles Visser, they've been quickest all weekend and were quickest 2 weekends ago at the regional, so they'll be moving through the field quickly. Dan van Heerden there just behind Wesley Wyman will be looking to stay with his pack and hopefully be part of the fight for the win.
Simpson Heath up the front end as well, looking to a good start, and Andrew Rackstraw, the 240 kart, as we said, using that advantage and maintaining the gap now ahead and keeping Charles Visser behind him. Rackstraw and Visser going at it as they go down that back straightaway, but 245 is the kart to watch out for, and that's Simpson Heath. Simon Simpson Heath finding some really good pace here in race number 1. This bodes well for a great day's racing here amongst the Senior Max competitors.
Oh, a big knock there from Visser on Rackstraw, pushing him back behind Kai van Zyl, and the big loser from the 180, which was Luca Candelay, he's managed to make a place back there on Rackstraw.
Canderel back in it. Good to have him here. Let's see if we can keep it all together as they go through. And now flying out of turn number 1. Hard on the brakes. Sure, this is incredible stuff there. Storm Lanphier, who of course is doing dual duties today, has got some work to do now. And it's a little bit more hectic, I think, in this category than what his previous category was. But let's see if he's able to soak up that pressure and do some damage at the front end if he can. He'll be a little bit more sort of at home, I think, in this chassis, being the taller kid of the group here. And change up for the lead. And he's hit the front. Unbelievable stuff. The man I'm just talking about. No longer a commentator's curse there. This time working with exactly what I want him to say. So well done, Storm. Keep up that good work. But Simon Simpson-Heath, they're into 2nd place. Visser demoted down and squeezing through there as well is Kai van Zyl.
I've just noticed now Rackstraw is missing from this pack. Him and Dan van Heerden went into the chicane together. I don't know if anything happened, but Rackstraw now missing from the front group.
He's dropped back dramatically there, probably out of it. And I think the two of them might have come together. Let's keep an eye on that one as they continue the race at the front end. They're not worried about where Rackstraw is. There he's in, just in the background. Actually picked up his helmet coming through the background there. So he's lost out a huge amount of ground. So Rackstraw with some work to do. The work being done right now is from Visser, and he's trying to get through on Van Zyl. Van Zyl all over the back of Lanphier. And then you can see them just lining up, waiting for something to go wrong, and then they can just pick up the pieces.
Yeah, these two have been super fast all weekend, so they're using each other to get to the front. Charles Visser had enough of using Kai van Zyl now, and now he's on for Storm Lanphier.
Yeah, and it looks like Waylon Wyman also looking to come into the little pack of front end contenders here. Waylon Wyman, of course, finishing 2nd in the championship last year. Certainly a man to watch out for, and of course also winning the Africa Open, so he'll definitely have some pace. Not running in the same team as what he was last year, but certainly looking to keep up the kind of pace he had. There's a move from Visser. Can he get through? Yes, he can. 257, 227. Thanks for coming. 30 points in it there.
Storm Lanphier doing very well to keep the front, to keep himself at the front there for as many laps as he did. But like I said, Charles Visser and Kai van Zyl have had crazy turn of pace throughout the weekend. Sometimes 0.3, 0.4 on the rest of the field. So Charles Visser, if you want to keep him with you, you've got to keep him behind you.
We've got 3 drivers at the moment who are in the 41s, and that is Charles Visser, Kai van Zyl, and Simon Simpson-Heath. Those are the 3 karters who are getting into those 41s.
Move there from Kai van Zyl into second 180s.
Nice one, and he makes it stick. So using that additional little bit of pace, and when I say a little bit of pace, everybody else is in the 42s. So it's only a couple of hundredths of a second splitting these top 6 drivers.
Big movement there from Simon Simpson-Heath, trying to keep Luca Canale behind him. Luca Canale also had decent pace in qualifying, so he'll be looking to get himself back onto the front here, but it's a big dice between the 3 of them.
Coming through there nicely, and Canale is definitely applying pressure. He certainly wants to find a way through, and the 245 machine is under big pressure there. Simpson-Heath is feeling it, and he's now starting to give a little bit of his own onto the back end of Lanfear.
Candelay making a small mistake there into turn 1, but Kai van Zyl all over the back of Charles Visser. That's also allowed Storm Lanfear to come into it. Big dive into second 180. He loves that move, Kai van Zyl. Nice, neat, tidy, no contact, and he still makes it through with 2 car lengths.
Yeah, nicely done, and Visser didn't seem to have an answer to that one. He has to go defensive almost instantaneously on 3 karts. Lanfear dives to the right and going with him. Oh, so close there. It was a big move from Wyman. Wyman had a big look through there and couldn't quite make it stick, but it's so tight. There's nothing in it between these guys.
Yeah, what was a 3-kart battle is now turned into a 5-kart battle again for second place. So Storm Lanfear doing well, keeping his head together there to stay in third place ahead of Simon Simpson-Heath, Luca Canale, and Waylon Wyman.
Wyman is all over back of Canale, and as I said, he tried to do the same maneuver as we saw just ahead there. Didn't quite make it stick, but let's see if he's able to do it now. They're back into the 180s. Watch out for that maneuver this time. Let's see if he can make it, and this time put it in front. No, all line astern. Maybe they're going to wait a couple of laps and give us a chance to breathe.
Yeah, Luca Canale, definitely the most experienced driver in this group. Luca Canale used to race for me in DD2 4 or 5 years ago, so experience aplenty there with Luca Canale. So maybe just biding his time and waiting to see what the youngsters in front of him get up to.
Senior Max definitely heating up now. Lanfear with pressure being applied big time. And it's not going to be an easy day in the saddle here for any of these drivers. Even the top 2. They have still got lots of work to do. And it looks like Visser is now starting to apply the pressure onto the back end of Van Zyl. Van Zyl soaking it up. But how much longer can he take that pressure? Because it is coming constantly. And there you see a move on the inside. And will Visser be able to hang on to that one? Watch out for Van Zyl to come back. No, he's not close enough to do that cutback that he normally does.
Very, very neat and tidy from Charles Visser again. Just getting enough on Kai van Zyl with that move, just so Kai can't have another go at him into the second 180. So nice, neat, tidy sort of passing. Good to see from these youngsters.
Very tight driving from the top 3 here. And you see a little bit of a gap opening up there from Visser. Visser's just got a slight advantage through the golf club. And Van Zyl's lost some ground there to Lanfear. So Lanfear trying to now capitalize on the fact that Van Zyl might have just been caught out there ever so slightly.
Waylon Wyman's managed to move himself up into 4th place there ahead of Luca Canale and Simon Simpson-Heath. So he'll be on a charge to get back onto the front 3 here, especially Storm Lanfear. Storm Lanfear just doesn't seem to quite have the pace of Kai van Zyl and Charles Visser.
Wyman now up into 4 as well. He's leading out that second pack. Luca Canale just hasn't an answer just yet as he comes flying out onto that back straightaway out of the 180s. Wyman up to 4th, as I said. And then behind that, it is Simon Simpson-Heath with Canale on his tail.
Small gap opening up now between Charles Visser and Kai van Zyl, especially through Golf Club. So Charles Visser very strong through that back section of the track, keeping him nice and safe into turn 1 from Kai van Zyl.
What you can hear through there, you mentioned it earlier on in the commentary, is the whine of the tyres. Visser's tyres not whining as much as everybody else's, so he's getting great grip through Golf Club. Change up there, and Wyman gets the motor down. Simpson-Heath up into 1 more position, but Wyman comes almost straight back at him. Didn't quite make it stick, but he definitely had a big look.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have that move. You can see the suit that Wyman's wearing is the last year's Team South Africa suit. He went and competed and represented us overseas, but in the DD2 class after winning the African Open in single match.
And he comes flying down the back straight onto Simpson-Heath's tail with Canale all over the back of him. Listen to those tyres. Those Mojo tyres are definitely starting to feel the effects of this first heat of racing and the amount of pressure that's been put through them by the drivers and the karts.
It's unbelievable what we've had to change to run on this new surface. Setups that I ran here last year weren't working the same, but Canale down the inside now of Wyman. Bit of a block pass there to get away from him, so Wyman can't ever go into the first 180, but I wouldn't put it past him to try anyway.
He's right there. Didn't quite make a stick. Watch for the cutback now through the second 180. He takes the wide line, but I think Luca saw him coming and took a similar line through there, so he didn't open up the door to give him a chance to return the favour.
Like I said, wealth of experience with Canale, been running in the front for many years. He took a bit of a sabbatical, only came into the African Open last year, so he hasn't had much racing seat time, but it's not showing at the moment.
definitely still got the pace and what's required to run at the front end of a race like this. These guys are really pushing it to the limit now. This is only heat number 1. Remember, we've got 2 more heats of action still to come here in Senior Max. And really, your money could be any one of these top 6 drivers. They can take a win here with no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, Schalfus and Carfasel just checking out from this group now. So this is another group for second place. Storm Lamphere leading it out at the moment from Simpson Heath, but we know that Simpson Heath's got the pace to get past them. So it's going to be a big dice here towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a timed maneuver. That's what we're going to be seeing. And perfect timing usually plays into the hands of the driver behind as opposed to the driver in front. So to chase somebody around here is a lot easier than to defend them off.
It's a lot easier to follow than to lead. So Storm Lamphere just being used as the scapegoat at the moment for the other two, but Luca Candler will be edgy to get in front of Simon Simpson Heath.
The Cosmic has a look. Oh, what a move there from Candley. Simpson Heath opened up the door. I think he was trying to take a different line through turn 1. Didn't realize that Simpson Heath was so close. And Wyman's got through as well. So Wyman just demoting Simpson Heath down 1 more position. As I was saying, Simpson Heath trying a different maneuver through there. Didn't quite work out for him because he's lost 2 positions there.
Yeah, Canderal's never always been the sweetest on the circuit, so he's always anxious to get into the front. He doesn't normally wait. So good move from him there to move himself up into 4th place.
Simpson Heath trying to come back there at Wyman. Oh, how's that? Kai van Zyl using the back marker to his advantage, and a disadvantaged Charles Visser drops to 2nd place with a lap to go. Now will Visser come and fight hard for the win? That's exactly what we expect from him.
Well, Kai van Zyl very clever there. He actually slowed it down before the apex, so Charles didn't have the option to go around the outside. He's going to try it again here into the first 180. No, too deep. And Charles Visser just pulls the cut back home and gets the move done.
Van Zyl just too late on the brakes, too deep into the corner, and Visser's got it. There's no way that Van Zyl's going to come back from that one, and I think Visser knows that. Look at the gap he's been able to pull on that one. It was a big mistake there from Kai van Zyl. He'd been gifted the opportunity of taking the win, and he just buckled under the pressure of leading the race. Visser's got it. Coming out of the chicane and heading down towards the final corner. It is Charles Visser to take race 1 victory here in the Senior Max, and it's a great battle at the front end between the two of them that I think is going to rage all day long. Van Zyl comes through for 2nd place in the Cosmic. Storm Lamphere just behind them, beating out Waylon Wyman and Simon Simpson Heath for the top 5. What a great start to Senior Max. This is what we kind of expected, and I think there's going to be more of the same throughout the day for Heat 2 and 3. There's confirmation of those results. Visser, Van Zyl, Lamphere, Wyman and Simpson Heath, your top 5. It's Candley in 6th place with Uleman, Donovan, Homer, Thomas, the top 10.
Yeah, he did a really good move. I did not expect that coming. And yeah, he did pull off a great move there.
How did you read the back marker getting in his way?
Well, I kind of knew that he would have to slow down for the back marker so he could actually pass, but it looked like he didn't get the greatest exit and the back marker got in his way. So I took the advantage here in pit bend to lead it onto the straight.
Charles, at what stage did you think, okay, I've got 5 corners left, I better do this now?
So as he passed me through pit bend, I knew there's only a couple of corners left and a whole lap. But then on the straight I saw, okay, I'm close enough to him, and as we went to the 180s, I actually caught him a bit on the brakes, but I didn't want to overshoot my corner and ruin the drive. But luckily the move paid off.
One of the best dummies I've seen anybody throw somebody else, and I've swallowed it. But yeah, great race, guys. But you guys, at some stage, looked like you were going to fight for 3rd place, and then the front disappeared.
Yeah, I think after the start, me and Kai had a bit of a tussle with the other Oaks, and they drove us a bit off the track, and we got some dust in our face, and after that we started to get into the rhythm and caught the front guys.
It's very much a rhythm game when it comes to karters that are so evenly matched, both in driving skill and the ability of their different chassis. As they head down for heat number 2 now in Senior Max. Charles Visser, race 1 winner, with some pressure already right from the back, and it's Rackstraw all over the back of him as they head down towards turn 1. 215 around the outside, and keep an eye on that machine, because as they go through there, a couple of drivers chopping and changing and trying to take each other out from the word go. Didn't quite work out, but as they come through, it is going to be an epic battle once again here in Senior Max, and this is heat number 2.
Rackstraw pulled such an amazing move there into turn 1 from the start on Reese Ollerman, and unfortunately it forced Reese Ollerman all the way down to about 6th place there, but promoted Rackstraw up to 2nd in front of Kai van Zyl. Simon Simpson Heath already getting defensive on the first lap, and will that back them up into Golf Club? It does, so now we're going to have a big mess of karts getting into turn 1.
Reece Ullman just having to take evasive action there on a few occasions because he's been demoted back and now trying to fight back right from the word go. It's not easy to do when you've been rattled so early on, but didn't seem to faze him too much because he was able to just maintain inside the top 10. But that's not where he wants to be because he was a lot higher up after that maneuver that was pulled on him.
Oh, big move down the inside there on Conor Donovan. Gets it done easy. Pulls 3 car links and now focus on the carts in front of him. Good thing about the national format is that starting position for Heat 2 is on your fastest lap from the previous heat. So those that had a couple of incidents in the heats, it allows them to get back into the mix of things. So Rackstraw up into second because of the pace he had in Heat 1.
Yeah, so you can just set the pace without any pressure of having to fight in amongst the competitors that you're fighting with in those race heats, and gives you a chance to get back in it, and it's done it to perfection here. Visser leading things out though and pulling a little bit of a margin on Van Zyl. Now remember, Charles Visser coming into Senior Max is our Junior Max champion from last year, and Carl Van Zyl, after taking a bit of a sabbatical, a massive welcome return to him to be in the front end and fighting so hard.
Good move there from Simon Smith on Storm Lanfear. So those two going at it strong from the previous heat, but it's allowed Reece Ullman an opportunity to get down the inside, down the back straight, but everybody wise to it.
Yeah, massive maneuver there, and here we go, back in it once again, 227. Storm Lanfear, the pressure's on. Simpson Heath is there as well, and he's not holding anything back, that is for sure, as they come flying through the chicane. Oh, Visser with a mistake. Visser runs wide there, and he gets caught out. There's an issue there on the cart. He looks across going, what went wrong there? Van Zyl said, don't worry, I'll take it, thanks very much. Rackstraw sitting there going, yeah, keep making mistakes like that, I'm going to make you pay.
The new surface is very tricky. If you go off the rubber just slightly, it's like you're driving on the wet. So into that pit chicane. Oh, he's done it again. Yeah. Everybody's done it.
There's an issue
there.
there.
Van Zyl's gone. Charles Visser's gone.
Van Zyl making a massive mistake now, and he's dropped right out of it too. So Visser and Van Zyl, the top two, leading things out comfortably now. Possibly gifted the victory here. No, not quite, because he's back in it. Sure, what a recovery there from Visser. But Rackstraw now thinking to himself, hang on a second. What are these guys doing wrong? Where can I put the pressure on them to make those same mistakes or similar ones to allow me to get to the front?
We have seen a lot of incidents into the first 180 in the previous heat, so maybe a little bit of dust or that from the previous heat or from this heat on the first lap. So catching the leaders out, unfortunately, and Carl Van Zyl way down the pack now.
No, he's going to have to do some work if he wants to catch these two. Rackstraw is applying the pressure onto Visser. Then you got Simpson Heath, you got Storm Lanfear in there, and tucked in behind them, the 2-1-5. And watch out, Ullman has made a good recovery here. It wasn't quite the start he wanted, and he got demoted back, as you said. But now in the mix, and potentially, well, he loses a little bit of drive out of the 180s there. And he could be falling into the clutches of Candley and Waylon Wyman, who also were involved in that little 180 fracas.
Actually looks like we're missing Candley off the back of this group. He was right on the back of this group earlier, so it looks as though he's also dropped down a bit from that little incident in the 180s with Carl Van Zyl. So maybe hitting the same thing that was on the track that the other two did.
Just getting it sideways, getting it off track. And that off-track excursion is costly. You don't want to be doing that. Rackstraw, late on the brakes, didn't quite get up the inside, but he's just keeping the pressure on. Fists are soaking it up right now. And Simpson Heath now starting to be a threat there to the top two.
Yeah, Rackstraw looking very strong onto the back straight here. I don't think he's going to have a move early on. He looks about it. He's there. He's got the move down. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy touch and go there. First tries to hang on around the outside, and that ends up giving Simon Smith second place. He may even lose third here to Storm Lanfear. No,
Lanfear's just behind him. So Simpson Heath getting through there, and it's now Rackstraw. Rackstraw going to try and open up a gap here and get away. If he can, Simpson Heath's going to go with him. The two of them, they work together. They can possibly open up a gap that will be unmanageable or uncatchable from third place, Charles Visser. Visser just been able to keep out Storm Lanfear. Lanfear now under attack from Carl Van Zyl and from Ullman. Ullman running a little bit wide. That's not a mistake you want to be doing when you're doing that kind of a fight and when you're in the thick of it like that.
On the back of this, it looks like Shirin Naidu's made a comeback from the first heat, chain jumping off.
You know, nice to see the Burrell man making a little bit of a change up there and just rubbing off what went wrong in race 1. Coming back now for a potential top 5 finish here in heat number 2. But it is Rackstraw who is controlling things at the front end. And I'm not quite sure if there's going to be an answer because it looks like the pace of the CRG is pretty good. Yes, that Cosmic is right on his tail end, but Simpson Heath is going to have to just be wary about where he tries to attack. As I said, Rackstraw spending lots of time in his kart, getting himself ready for National Championship Formula 1600 action, and also now looking for a chance to be in the thick of it here in the Senior Max.
Yeah, supported by a man like Claudio Piazzamuso, world karting champion in his own right. Can't hurt you at all either. So I think he's got the right mentoring, the right coaching, and the right frame of mind.
I remember also not only a world karting champion, but a multiple South African BMX champion too. So if he does get off-road, Rackstraw will know what to do. Now they come under braking for turn 1. And in the background, Visser starting to make up that ground. Lanfear all on his own. Look at Van Zyl fending off that attack. 2-1-2 is in the house. And it's a welcome return there for Naidu. And he now means business.
Big fight here between Oleman, Dane van Heerden and Luca Candele. Dane van Heerden gets the move done, but he runs a little bit wide again into the second 180. Oleman up the inside. Oh!
And a touch.
Contact.
And two of them into the tyre walls. So Van Heerden and Oleman crashing out there and putting their carts into the tyre walls there. I think Van Heerden might have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oleman definitely had a dive on the inside, thought he had the line. The two of them tagged each other. They're going to try and bring those carts back on track. They do get the carts back on track. Dane van Heerden gets going again. Oleman's still waiting to get that cart back onto the circuit, but back to the front end. And looks like some issues there in one of the back markers as our leaders go flying through. And it's Andrew Rackstraw who is definitely the man to watch out for in these closing stages. But keep an eye out, and always keep an eye out on Charles Visser. Visser now putting in some rapid lap times, getting down into the 41.7s. Fastest man on track.
Yeah, he's definitely got an option here on Simpson Heath down the back straight now. He's wise to it though, goes inside, so Charles Visser negates that move, but he might have stuck it through the second part of the 180s. Which he's done.
And he's made it stick. Brilliantly done. So he gets through and up into second with a lap to go. Has he got enough time to catch Rackstraw? I don't think Rackstraw's going to give him that opportunity. Simpson Heath is going to keep him honest. The attack from Simpson Heath is what he's going to have to be worried about. He cannot go and attack the man in front. Or as I say that, he does the exact opposite. He does go and attack Andrew Rackstraw. He hasn't got quite enough of the gap yet completed though. With only half a lap to go, I don't think Visser's going to have enough here. Rackstraw looks like he might hang on.
Down the back straight here, the slipstream is big. Is he going to try the same move he did on Simon going in here before? No, he's just not close enough. He did wonder about it, but that's it. There's aren't many more corners to pass in, and if you're brave enough to have a go through the pitch chicane, I would never try it. So Andrew Rackstraw takes the lead here, takes the win here as he goes over the checkered flag.
Nicely done from Rackstraw taking the win, and RDSL will be happy with that. And Visser is going to be thinking to himself, hang on a second, I've got to make up one more position to take another win. So that's a first and a second for Charles Visser. Rackstraw taking the second win in heat number 2. Ahead of Visser, Simon Simpson Heath comes through for third place, and he's beaten out Storm Lanfear and Kai van Zyl. Luca Candele in 6th place, Wyman in 7th. Pommershan came through for 8th. Van Heerden eventually survived to 9th ahead of Riley Horner.
Yeah, the Cape Town boys have always been quick here. Hats off to all of them, they all drove superb. Heat 2 was awesome. We got a bit of a gap and we just maintained it. They were quicker, but we managed to maintain it.
So they line up now for heat number 3. Look where Dane van Heerden is. He's set a very quick lap time and moves himself into 3rd place on the grid alongside Andrew Rackstraw, race 2 winner. Race 1 winner is Visser, and he leads into turn 1. He's done it all right. Can he keep it all together now?
He got an absolutely blinding start there. Pulled away 2-3 car lengths on the first row, but it's Rackstraw hitting out that front group in now 3rd, and Storm Lanfear with a problem. Obviously a puncture or contact has ended his race early.
I think it's a puncture. Look at that back left. It's completely off the rim. And hopefully, he's going to try and pull it back on again, but I don't know if that's going to help him out. So Visser from Simpson Heath, Dane van Heerden into 3rd place, just squeezing the rest of that pack out. The rest of that pack led out by Andrew Rackstraw. And it's not quite the start that Rackstraw wanted. He was a little bit higher up, but Dane van Heerden has demoted him down to 4th. And I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, Uleman there, tucked in behind them.
Yeah, Dane Danger's up to 3rd. It looks like he has the pace to catch the front 2. If not the front 2, at least Simon Simpson Heath. He's been very quick in the latter part of this weekend, just getting to grips with the circuit. Took him a bit of time, but he's back there and he's catching up to the front pack now.
20 laps this time as opposed to the 15, so they got 5 extra to play with here, and that's exactly what Dane is hoping he can use to his advantage as he looks to close down the top 2, bringing Rackstraw along for the ride. Uleman just dropped off there through the 180s, straight into the clutches of the 212, and I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of a better move here from Naidu. Naidu onto the back end and possibly in for a top 5, even a top 3, if he can just bridge that gap that's opened up.
Yeah, Simon doing very well to hang on to Charles Visser. Strange to see Kai van Zyl not up there. Maybe just a poor start. He's at the back of the second group. He's actually going down the inside now to make a move. As we look at the front 2, sitting line astern the early laps of the race. It's 20 laps long, so making an early move can only be detrimental to your race weekend. As I say that, early move from Simon, I think it was more of a mistake from Charles Visser though.
Yeah, Visser ran a little bit wide, opened up the door, and Simpson Heath took that advantage. Said, right, I'll lead for a little bit if you don't want to take it. I'll have a bit of fun and games at the front end here. My Cosmic seems to have a good pace.
Yeah,
see if your FA can stay with me.
Dane going defensive there early. He knows that we've set that cart up for the long haul, so He's going to be struggling for the first 5-6 laps, but hopefully it'll come towards him as we go along.
Rackstraw's all over the back of him though. Andrew Rackstraw wants by. He can see these two getting away and he's losing ground here rapidly to the two of them, with Dane van Heerden still to negotiate as they come into turn 1. First 4, basically the class of the field, and in fact the first 7 carts are now down into the 41 second bracket, so it's rapid pace in Senior Max.
Yeah, Dan seems to be coming on strong there as he catches onto the back of Charles Visser now. Only 2 or 3 car lengths away, and does seem to have a car length on Andrew Rackstraw as they head onto the back straight.
That's exactly what you need. Rackstraw tucks in behind the steering wheel, trying to get as much aerodynamics out of that kart as he can. Not disadvantage himself by the size of his body or the length of his body as he comes through there. But now closes right up through the chicane. Look how much track they're using. They're using the red and white rumble strips at almost every occasion. Trying not to get onto the dirty stuff, just keeping it as smooth as they can. And second group now. Waylon Wyman has hit the front of that second group.
I do tell Dane every time we come into a new track, make sure we use the whole circuit. He's definitely doing that to the best of his abilities and maybe taking it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think a little bit more is what's required here to keep out Rackstraw. That's exactly why Rackstraw hasn't an answer just yet. But Andrew's not out of it just yet. As they get onto that back straight away, there's the first 4. Look in the background. Should be Wyman who comes in. No, in fact, a change up there. Wyman still fighting with Connor Donovan and Riley Horner as they come into the thick of it for that second group. And watch out, of course, also for the 212 of Shireen Naidu. Coming into lap 11 of 20 now. And pretty much plain sailing for the top 2. I think Charles Visser realizes that the pace that's being set here by the 245 of Simpson Heath is good enough for him. So he's not going to put the pressure on just yet. He's going to sit there, soak it up a little bit, take a bit of a breather, and maybe have a go at him in about 9 laps' time.
Yeah, calm, cool, collected, and no mistakes from either of them. So now we've got 2 groups here. Dan van Heerden leading out the second group with Rackstraw behind him. So nice, calm, cool, collected, and no mistakes. You've got a lot of laps left in this race.
11 to go, and in fact they're 10.5 as they get down into the back straight, heading into Golf Club.
We're missing Visser.
Visser's gone. Visser's gone missing. Charles Visser's... Oh, he's got an issue. Visser with an issue there. That is not good.
We were just talking about mistakes, and I think he might have made one through the Golf Club and actually ran wide over that curb. You go over that curb just too hard, it pulls you into the grass.
Yeah, and it looks like he might have done some damage to that kart because he's now being reeled in by the second pack. And they're hunting him down rapidly. Van Heerden and Rackstraw trying to close down now after seeing the issue there with Visser. They thinking to themselves, hang on a second. Second and third looks a little bit better if it's first and second we're fighting for. Let's go and catch Simon Simpson Heath.
Yeah, both these karts seem geared for the later part of the race. So they heads down the back straight now, going on to 245. Dane just doesn't need to get excited. Gets too excited and gets too defensive, he's going to lose the driver in the lead.
87 km/h average of these guys. It's absolutely incredible to think how quick these karts go as they come down under braking. Charles Visser, he keeps looking behind him because he can see that second group closing in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Luca Candley who's leading that second group out now as we're getting into 13 of 20.
Yeah, we can see the leader getting away. So Dan obviously getting a little bit too defensive on Rackstraw to hold on to the second place. Must be a daunting place to be. First national and you're running in the top 2 of a senior match class.
Ooh, how's that pressure from Visser?
Big move from Visser. Great move from Visser. Dan's going to see it and going to go try and keep him behind him. Try and go as defensive as he can. He's got a bit of breathing room now, so it doesn't need to happen yet.
Well, Rackstraw didn't see that one coming. He slid into turn 1 and all of a sudden there was an FA right at the inside of him, so he had no answer. And the race driver...
That kart is strong out of that chicane.
It is, eh?
Dane sees it, goes defensive, able to hang on to it for now. He's going to look for the cutback though, Charles Visser.
Oh, no, they're going to come out of Golf Club intact. That's what I'm worried about. Yes, they do.
Very only anxious just. Waiting.
Yeah, only just.
That's my driver there in second, man.
Yeah, I can see how you're getting here. You can see, I mean, this is incredible stuff going down into turn 1. And Van Heerden just keeping and fending off the attack from Visser.
Oh, defensive again into the first 180. You just don't overdo it because the move into the second 180 is going to be on. He's running a little bit wide. He's not going to leave enough room for Visser. Oh!
Visser driving on the inside and trying to get through. No line there. Van Heerden now locked up with Waylon Wyman. Waylon Wyman drives over Van Heerden. That allows Uleman to sneak through. So Waylon Wyman, Uleman getting through there, and Dane van Heerden demoted back 4 positions and no exhaust pipe. That's not going to help him. Watch this. Here's the replay.
Yeah, Dan runs a little bit wide. Tries to get a turn back in. There's not quite enough room, but Visser's going to go anyway.
Visser goes anyway. Rackstraw dives on the inside of the both of them.
And Wyman doesn't see them.
Visser gets a little tap from behind, and he has to take evasive action, and then Wyman just gets caught up with Dane van Heerden. As they came out of that one, you can see eventually getting it all sorted out, but it wasn't quite expected. And, well, we've got some action still to be sorted out here in Heat 3 of Senior Max. Out front, though, Simon Simpson Heath has got it all under control. Rackstraw little bit of work to do there. And Carfancel, I think, might be the most dangerous man on track with Candley putting the pressure on him. He wants to take that pressure off him and give it to Rackstraw, rather.
Yeah, Carfancel been very quick all weekend, so looking to get past Andrew Rackstraw. I think Carfancel and Charles Visser have been going at it hammer and tongs all season, so whatever points you can get over Visser, both of these boys, would be good news.
Heading down the back straight and back further back in the pack. You can see they're just all lined up and ready to finish this one up for the day. But if this is how the season starts, can you just imagine what we're going to do when we get to PE, when we get into the Gauteng region, and when we get down to Adubi? It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Coming to the line, though, it's Simon Simpson-Heath, and he's going to try and keep it all together now for the next couple of laps. Van Zyl still in second place with the pressure coming from Rackstraw.
Yeah, the Cape Townian boys are always quick here at their home circuit, so it's going to be interesting to see when we get to Gauteng and the Northern Region boys on their home turf, how it changes up the field.
Now as they come through, look at this. Rackstraw applying the pressure, Candley doing the same thing. Van Zyl out front. And Rackstraw dives on the inside. Can he make it stick? Big look there. Didn't quite get through. Simpson-Heath, though, coming to the line. And a great drive here. Taking it by a comfortable margin in the end. That was due to the fact there was such a big battle behind him. Van Zyl coming through for second and Rackstraw in third place. There you have confirmation of it. Candley ahead of Uleman. Then it was Wyman, Connor Donovan, Riley Horner, Visser and Thomas, your top 10.
Today's racing was pretty close. In the third heat, we got a good start. We started second, so on the outside, but I managed to stay with Charles and pull a gap. Then one of the later laps into the first 180, he made a mistake, and I just gained from that, and I was leading. Pulled quite a big gap, and then from then on, he caught back up and into the golf club section. He got caught on one of my rear wheels, and luckily we stayed ahead. He went a bit wide and fell back and started fighting with the guys behind, and I just managed to get pretty far ahead.
Did you realize at that stage that you pulled a nice gap and that they were keeping each other busy, or did you just do your own race at the front without looking back?
I did realize that I had pulled a big gap, but then I just focused on driving the perfect line and just pulling a big gap.
Going to Port Elizabeth next.
Yeah.
Have you been there before, and what do you think of that circuit? Because it brings new challenges. It's a different circuit, much slower, much more compact than what Killarney is.
We've been there once, 2016. That was when the last national was there. So it's quite a tight cornery circuit. So it's different to Killarney. Killarney's a very fast circuit. So yeah, we'll see.